What's up, guys? Welcome back to another war video. This is Ardenal 7. This is season 48, war number 4, and LVT is facing F and G. I have 4 fights this war. I'm bringing Symbiote Supreme, Mordo for Synergy, and Human Torch. I am taking Path 5 in Section 2, Gorr on Node 42, and Adam Warlock on Node 47. Alright, skipping Section 1, my first fight this war is Nova on Node 23. I will be using Symbiote Supreme. This is Path 5 in Section 2. I brought along Mordo for Synergy. Mordo is going to give me a bar of power at the start, and I'm also using a Power Start 1 boost. I've got Mystic Special boosts on as well. So I am just going to try to parry a few times here at the start to get some prowess to try to make sure that I keep the indestructibles under control. I was able to manage to get a intercept there to knock down the protection, and then I get to my SP3. Symbiote Supreme is really just all about getting into his cycle, getting some SP2s off after the SP3s. So after this initial intercept, I'm not going to worry too much about intercepts because I know that my bleeds are going to do plenty of damage. Really, I just want to make sure that I keep those indestructibles down and throw off the SP2. So there's my first SP2. Got some power steal. I'm just going to take this SP1 into block, and then I am actually back to an SP3 again. Throw in the SP3, and again, I'm not going to stress about getting the intercept. He has been nullified and stuff, so he's not going to auto-block or anything, but it's just not a ton of health on a path fight, so I'm not too worried if it takes an extra 15 or 20 seconds. But there we go, another SP2, I'm back to it again, but he throws his SP1, and I will just try to get another special off to finish the fight. All right, next up, I have Sasquatch on Node 32. This is the second fight on Path 5 in Section 2. I swap over to Science Boosts. I throw on a Invulnerability Boost just in case. And I'm also using the Human Torch pre-fight for Nova Flames. The Nova Flames will be passive, so they won't be cleansed when he dashes forward. I do want to try to keep protection down here as much as possible, just because with the protection and his Wrath stacks, whatever they're called, he does take less and less damage. So you can get to a point where he has enough stacks with protection that he takes 0 damage. And I think that does happen like right around the end of the fight. And then just because of RNG, he's not really gaining his Wrath too quickly. But I'm trying to push him to his SP2s. You saw he did throw one SP1. It's just, in my opinion, safer to dex the SP2s. So here we go. Protection's back up. I'm going to bait the SP2, see if I can find myself an intercept to get the protection back down, and then I do. I want to push him back to his SP2 and then hope that he goes into Wrath here shortly. So he throws his SP2, and like I said, kind of RNG-wise, he's at 10 stacks and still no Wrath. He's got protection up, he's taking no damage and just healing a little bit here. But that's okay, Wrath's going to come, and then he will die basically right after that triggers, so... Bait another SP2, there's the Wrath, and he is done. Alright, next up I have Gorr on Node 42 with Symbiote Supreme. This is a tricky fight, and I had some detailed instructions I'm going to try to follow here. But basically I'm going to have a SP3 at the start of this fight. The plan is to parry back off, parry heavy to take the protection down. Unfortunately he plays a little passive there, it doesn't hit play into the block. So after my... next parry, I knock him down, but I only have 1 prowess when the game plan was I was supposed to have 2 at this point. But I do get the SP3 off. Following the SP3, I need to get him into cycle and get the SP2 off. He also is going to have a bar of power, so I can't let him throw either. I'm trying to get to my SP2 before he gets the nullify immunity, which unfortunately doesn't happen. And then after I parry, hit him twice, throw my SP2, somehow he gets his block up in time as well. So I am... in some trouble now. I didn't have power. Thankfully, I am back to an SP2 now. I'm just trying to wait out the nullify immunity here. I'm going to try to hit into his block and just reset. So from here, I need to SP3 just to nullify again, but he still does have the nullify immunity up. So we're just going to have to wait for my power a third time. So Trying to go back in to just keep this clean, trying to keep the indestructible charges down, let him throw his SP1s. I can't let him throw an SP2, otherwise I will die. So that little purple almost looks like a prowess on his buff bar is what I'm watching here, trying to make sure that that goes away. And then the mistake I make here is that I knock him down to try to get rid of his protection before I throw my SP3, but those hits give him some more regeneration buffs, which trigger the nullify immunity again. Had I just thrown the SP3, I would have nullified and been in a position to win this fight. But now he's at 2 bars of power. I can't let him throw that, so I have to block. By blocking, I'm taking a bunch of debuffs. Those are taking me down very quickly. And unfortunately, I've lost control of this fight, and I die. All right, take 2. We are going to try to do this correctly this time. So trying to follow the same strategy here. I'm going to have the SP3 at the start. We're going to parry. We're going to back off. We're going to parry. We're going to knock him down. And then we're going to go into the SP3. And from there, I just need to get to my SP2 and start the cycle. So there, everything's going right. I've got 2 prowess at my SP3 here. We're going to come out of this and get to the SP2 and start the cycles. I just need to get the bleeds up from it. I need to get the power drain. If the nullify comes, great. If not, I'm just not going to worry about it as much. So I bait the heavy, come back in and throw the SP2. It does incredible damage, and I'm back to another one, able to throw it and kill him. What should have been a 20-second fight, unfortunately lost control the first time, but as you see, Sim can definitely melt that fight. All right, my last fight this war is Adam Warlock on node 47 with Symbiote Supreme. The game plan here is to just be extremely aggressive. I'm throwing on an advanced power boost again, so I'm going to start this fight with 2 bars of power. I need to get my SP3, and I want to push Adam Warlock to his SP3s. So as long as I get mine off before him, I'm going to take 7.5% damage, or whatever the damage cap is. And as you see at the start here, I'm just parrying a bunch. I want to just make sure that I keep his indestructible under control, keep my prowess coming. So I'm slow playing, trying not to push him to a bar power until I'm a little bit closer to my own SP3. So here we go. We are at the SP3, we're going to throw this, and then I'm just going to stay real aggressive on him, try to parry where I can, and push him to his SP3, and then we're just going to tank it, and then we're going to try to get back to our SP2 to start the cycle here. So there we go, hitting into him. He's at his SP3. Again, I'm going to take very little damage from this. And he's going to get a Fury buff, but that's just more buffs for me to nullify coming out of this. So we're just going to try to find an opening for the SP2 here, get a nice combo into him. SP2 does good damage, and back to my SP2 again, and we drop it and kill him. Nice and easy. All right, war number 4 is in the books for me. Unfortunately, it came with another death. I am 18-3 on the season. Not the start I wanted. I did ascend Symbiote Supreme before the start of this war. I feel like I'm going to be using him frequently, and hopefully he's not banned too often next season, so I can just get some good use out of him with this tactic. He can make a lot of fights really fast and really easy, but he's kind of tricky to play, and I'm definitely still learning. But you know, once you get him in the cycle, you keep these indestructible buffs from the tactic under control. I think he's a really, really good option. Hopefully I'm able to improve with him and get out of some of these hard fights without dying. But as always, thanks for watching, guys.